Don't change it. At least you can wait. We are live. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Tom, and I'm with my friend
Darlene.
Yes, and please grab your coffee and let's have the conversation. This is Grief Talk Cafe. Before we start, darling, I want to give a shout out to Be Well Group. She made us like this is Be Well. Oh my goodness, look at that. Be Well. And then she put Stronger Life Connections. Thank you so much. That's what friends are for. That's what community does for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're excited. So I want to say thank you to Tammy from Be Well, who made us special mugs with Stronger Life Connections. So last week was amazing, darling. We do you want to talk about what we said?
Now you're putting me on the spot. We talked about making decisions, right? Making good decisions.
Yes.
And what makes a good decision, right, is when you have all the information, when it's with your values, it's in line with your values and beliefs, and you're intentional about it. And so, last week we talked about making good decisions. And one good decision is how we process grief and how we find our support people.
Right. Awesome. That's so good. And that is on our book, When Flowers Aren't Enough. And today we are going to talk about choosing well. Well. We are really working. We give you these nuggets about the book.
Mm-hmm.
We give you the nuggets every Wednesday at 10. We show up and just because we love and the feedback we are getting from people, from our friends is amazing. Thank you for sharing the books. Thank you for the feedback. And thank you for making our community better. So today on the book, we have Choosing Well. And again, I love quotes. I'm going to read a quote on the book on the topic Choosing Well. And I will read because I want to get it right. Okay. The friend who can be silent with us in a moment of despair or confusion, who can stay with us in an hour of grief and bereavement, who can tolerate not knowing, not healing, not curing. That is a friend who cares. That quote is by Henry Nouwen. Nouwen, thank you.
He's one of my favorite authors.
Right?
So Henry Nouwen was a priest, and he was in the popular belief, and he went to live with and help out in a place with people with disabilities. And so he changed his outlook on life, and he learned how to be a good friend to people. Yeah, and so that's what we're going to talk about. Choosing well. How do you find that person? How do you find that support person that will listen to you, who will not try to fix you, who will actually be present with you as you're going through your grief journey?
That's so good. That person who will not try to fix you, that person who will not try to cure you, just being there and being a good listener. And I have to tell you, my friends, this lady here, Miss Darlene Rempel, is a good listener. When I was going through my grief, she just listens. And today she will give us the nuggets, the tidbits of how to be a good listener and being there. When I was going through my grief, I shared with Darlene, and she just listened. And I said, I want to be like you when I grow up, because it's a skill. And today, Darlene will teach us how to get that, how to have that skill, so that when you have a friend or a family member, how you become that friend where you don't try to fix. So Darlene, share with us, how do you become that person that you were?
Being a good listener is there's simple skills, but they're hard to put into practice, because we are always, when we're meeting with somebody, what competes is always our thoughts about ourselves, what we're going through. It's hard to focus on the person because there's usually so many thoughts going through our minds. What am I going to say? What should I say? How is this person going to react if I say this way? So the first thing about being a good listener is to hear what you're saying, to be aware of what you're saying and thinking, and then to kind of put that on the back burner. The other thing that we do when we meet somebody is and they start telling us their story or their situation, we think in our minds, okay, if I was in that situation, this is how I would feel. This is how I would act, right? And then when we're thinking that in our head, we're projecting that onto that person. So the first thing about being a good listener is to be aware of what's going on in your head and to be able to say, okay, stop, I'm going to put that aside, and then I'm going to actually listen to what the person is saying. Does that make sense?
I love that. I love that. Because most times, someone is talking to us. Our mind starts going. Yeah. We're not listening. Our mind is thinking about how we're going to respond. And then we miss that.
What they're saying.
They're saying.
Yeah.
I heard this was so bad. It's like, have you met a friend and you tell them, okay, this is really, really bad. Like you tell them a big thing. So for example, you tell them, they ask you, how are you today? Say, I'm good, but I just had bad diagnosis and this. And then the person switches and says, so did you notice it rained yesterday? Something that totally means they didn't listen.
That's right.
Is that
great? So one way you can tell if a person is listening to you is if they can say back to you what you said. Right? So if that person who's listening to you can just reflect back to you what you said, then they know that you're listening. And also as a listener, if that's your focus, so if I'm listening to you so I can tell you back what you're saying, then I'm truly listening to you and not thinking about all the other stuff.
I love that. So choosing well, like that is so amazing. Choosing well. So having that friend who can listen, finding that community. And sometimes choosing well, you can actually meet. Okay, I just have a personal story. So I lost a dear friend. And he was my boyfriend. This was many years ago. And I had a friend that I shared that I lost this boyfriend, like he had died. And this girl, I don't think I chose well, because this friend I told this story to, she's like, oh, you're still young, you'll find another boyfriend.
Wow.
So
how did that make you feel?
That made I shut down. I built a wall and that was it. Communication over. So that's why I like this topic on our book, When Flowers Aren't Enough, about choosing well. How you choose your friends, how you choose the people you want to talk to about this big matters. Because again, it makes it worse when someone says something like that. Like, get over it.
And you're going to have lots of people who don't know what to say, or they say the wrong thing, or they're not paying attention. So you're gonna have to work through that. But then also, how do you find that friend? And maybe you'll find that friend because of what they say back to you. So if you say something to them, so if you're telling them about your loss, so Jen was telling a friend about her loss of her boyfriend, and if she gets the response she gets, then you kind of know that's maybe not the friend that you want to walk with you. But the next person she might talk to and tell her friend says, oh, I'm so sorry about your loss. That must be right. That must be so hard to lose somebody you love. Then you find somebody who validates your feelings and who's going to be there for you.
Oh, I love that, darling. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's already 10 minutes. We try to respect your time. We just bring you these nuggets every Wednesday to just share what the book is all about and what we are doing. But If you like this, please join us. Our website is right on the screen. Join us, join our group, and let's have these conversations. Let's not wait till we have we're learning how to choose well, how to make good decisions, how, oh my goodness, amazing things happening. So join our group, our private group for 1 p.m. and check our website, share the book, and thank you so much. Have an amazing week.
See you next week.
Yes.